This is my Power Popular K. Today I want to share with you a couple of ways to decorate some polystyrene hearts just in time for Valentine's Day. So for this craft you obviously need some polystyrene hearts, and for the first one I'm using some pink coloured sequins and also some red straight pens. So all I'm doing is taking one of the jewelled or pearled straight pens, threading it through a sequin and just pushing it, sorry it's off screen here, but just pushing it into the styrofoam and trying to keep it as close to the other one as possible. Now these don't need to be perfect, but I would suggest having them touching, and then you can fill in any gaps with additional sequins afterwards. So here's another shot for you. So just pushing that jewelled straight pin straight through the sequin. Now as a little bit of a tip, I would suggest going around the outside of your heart first. I just found this a lot easier than filling in the middle and then going outside, because it gives you a lot cleaner finish. So this is what it's looking like so far, and I'm just going to cover the rest of my heart. So this is a bit of a jump cut. As you can see, I've done a second layer, made sure that they are all overlapping each other even if it's just slightly, and having smaller sequins to cover up any odd gaps at the top and the bottom of the heart. And I will not lie, this is very time consuming, but it's not hard at all. Put on a film or a program that you're enjoying watching, which is what I did to pass the time whilst I was doing this. And using these very similar shaped sequins, they're all roughly the same size, even though I just got a multi-pack from the pound shop. I ended up using exactly 144 pens, which is what came in that little box that you saw earlier, but the pens were only a couple of pound, and the sequins, as I said, a humongous pack for £1 from the pound shop that I've had for absolute years. So I was really just trying to use up these sequins, because I'm not really a pink person, so they really do kick about for me. So as you can see, I'm just overlapping these sequins, using smaller ones to fill in little gaps, and it was actually kind of therapeutic. It's not hard, you don't really have to think about it other than particularly where you're laying your sequins and your pins, so it's a really relaxing craft to do as well. So I'm just going to finish this one up, and this is the finished one, so I'm really pleased with that. I would suggest getting either sequins with no holes or just a single hole, because it made it a lot easier to layer them. Now this second one is taking a styrofoam heart again, surprise surprise. You also want some book pages, some sponge brushes, I'm just using this old one here, and some PVA glue or Mod Podge if you are posh. So all I've done is ripped up a bunch of book pages. I wasn't really paying attention. All the book pages as I have are from damaged books that I'd had for years and had literally fallen apart. So, you know, don't worry, I didn't destroy a lovely book or anything like that. And the one I'm using, I found out later, was actually from a freebie from a magazine that I got, and it happens to be a rom-com. Not my choice of book, not something I'm into, but I thought kind of worked brilliantly for a Valentine's Day craft. So as you can see here, I'm just really decoupaging the book pages onto the heart. Yes, it was messy, so if you don't like getting glue on your fingers and hands, I would suggest wearing a pair of rubber gloves. I'm not particularly fussed, so I didn't bother. But you just want to put a layer of glue down, place your book page, and then add another layer of glue. Once you've coated the entire thing in your book page scraps, I'm taking this shimmer powder. It's a pearlescent gold that you've seen in some of my previous videos, and using an old makeup brush, just in a very old eyeshadow brush, I'm just dabbing some of the gold powder onto it. But I actually found this wasn't giving as much of a colour payoff as I wanted, so instead I took a makeup sponge that I wasn't using, dipped it into a little bit of the powder, and I only use makeup sponges for craft projects, so I think they're absolutely brilliant, and obviously you can get a bunch of them for £1 from the pound shop. And here I'm just sort of dabbing, stippling that pearlescent powder over my heart, and the glue is the same glue that I did a coat to seal in my book pages, but it hadn't completely dry. As you can see, there's a little bit of a wet sheen to certain places, which is where the gold's really adhering to. And you want to do it in a fairly light coat because you still want your book pages, your words to show through. And I'm sorry if you can hear any strange noises in the background because Iago has decided that he wants to play with the lounge door. So that is what you can hear if you can hear any squeaking in the back. So I'm just going over this entire heart with the gold powder, and even though I've only just put it on, it didn't come off at all. There is no fallout of this stuff. It's absolutely brilliant. So I will link what it is below, just so you know if you're interested. But yep, you just do both sides and then set it to dry completely. Now to display them, I'm just taking this really pretty tin that my mum got me for my birthday, and I've just lined it with some hot pink tissue paper that I had kicking about. I actually have a drawer full of wrapping supplies, so that's just where it's from. As you can see here, I did a gold and silver version of the sequin heart and used some pink pearled straight pins to pop them together. Because these were such unusual sizes, I did use more than the 144 pins that came in a box, but this is where I'm thinking of displaying it, just below one of our wedding photos. So I do hope this has inspired you and that you give it a go. It's a really simple and easy craft. It's great to use up some scrap pieces as well. So if you give this a go, I'd love to hear from you, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye!